a head taller than him. She also wore large sunglasses, and her black hair cascaded down her back. Their little girls looked like dolls. Dressed in fur coats, they were two puffballs. Each parent held a daughter by the hand. In the waning spring daylight, I swiveled my ugly plastic desk chair to face the windows as I absorbed the news and looked out at the cul-de-sac as maybe my dad used to see it. 3 abandoned boys' bikes littered the Andersons' front lawn. 12-year-old Mary Seitzman practiced her ballet on the sidewalk, pirouetting in front of the Kaplan's bay window before wiping her brow. The Love's new puppy attacked the arc of water shooting out from a sprinkler. The action appeared right outside my windows, like my own personal movie projected on a screen. I allowed myself the barest glance to check if Van's car was in his driveway. "Ingrid?" My mom put her shoulder to the warped bedroom door and opened it with a burst. I twisted to look at her, but a bolt of pain lit through my head to my stomach. I leaned against the armrest to keep the burning light at the edges. "Babe, you okay?" My coach's voice rang in my head. "Depending on your mental strength, you can bear any pain." I blinked hard, and the world sharpened into view again. Slices of my girlish bedroom, decorated long ago in hues of yellow, became visible behind my mom. On the wall were framed illustrations of my initials I and R, and a poem written in Hebrew, which I didn't understand. I wondered if Brooke had converted from my dad like my mom had. "Hey!" I tried to sound nonchalant. I focused my eyes on my beautiful Swedish mom, who had once been an actress herself. She was dressed in green scrubs, her worn-out blonde hair in a high bun, and her face more heavily lined with each passing month. I felt disloyal even noticing. She surveyed me from where she stood at the foot of my double bed, floral duvet half off and sheets intentionally tangled to give her the impression that I'd rested. "Come look," I said, nodding to the computer screen. She joined me at my desk and read, the stiff sleeve of her scrubs grazing my bare arm. "I hope it works out for him this time." She kissed the top of my head. Without my permission, she closed the laptop. The puffy Totoro sticker I'd stuck on the top laughed at me. "How'd you find out?" she asked. She wasn't surprised. I wondered how she'd heard. From his business manager, or my aunt in Kansas City who tried to stay in touch as an apology for her younger brother. "Izzy." My best friend had emailed me the link, most likely understanding that I probably hadn't heard the news. "Did you tell him? About the concussion?" I asked. "No." She parted her lips as if to say more, but then changed her mind and folded her arms, holding herself tight. I nodded. "What about the hospital bills?" "I got it. That's not for you to worry about. Just get better." I thought about my father every time something broke. I'd been thinking about him today, maybe because I was broken. And then, coincidentally, the email came in from Izzy. I wondered if my mom was in some way legally obligated to inform him about my concussion. Even if she was, I doubted she would tell him. When it came to my father, she wouldn't admit to any weakness. In the imaginary game of life, she didn't want my father to think he had completely won with his jet-setter life and young girlfriend, now wife apparently, who he'd left us for 7 years ago. On the rare occasion that he checked in on me, my mother was careful with how she presented our lives. She'd gone back to school for a nursing degree and loved it. I was a straight-A student, and most important, a nationally ranked diver like he had once been. I'd taken the slight introduction he'd given me to the sport and made it my own, without any of his help. To say my mom had a lot of pride was an understatement. In the divorce, she had said she didn't want anything from him. She was given the house and child support, which mostly went right out the window to pay for diving. I sensed my mom didn't like talking about the days when he lived here, so I was careful to avoid bringing up any memories that included him. Between barely speaking of him and years passing between visits, he'd become like a phantom in my mind. His ghost lurked in all the decrepit details of our once beautiful, modern box of a home, now breaking apart one piece at a time.